Benjamin Braddock steps off a plane, fresh from college, and into a world he is not ready for. A feeling that every college graduate can relate to. The graduate starts with this quiet, almost suffocating moment. No music, just the hum of the airport. It's a film about being lost, and no one is more lost than Ben and Mrs. Robinson. Welcome to Movies with G, and in this boring video essay, we'll mainly talk about Benjamin, Mrs. Robinson, and how both of them are lost, imperfect human beings. Ben had just finished college. He's a track star, a success story. But what now? At his graduation party, he's surrounded by old folks, patting him on the back, telling him that his future is bright. Plastics, one guy says, summing up the shallow life they expect him to chase. Ben doesn't want it. He just wants to get away. He's like a fish in a glass aquarium, trapped, watched, but unable to escape. He's not a man yet, just a boy, full of angst, anxious about what is next. I'm just a little worried about the future, he admits. That's Ben in a nutshell. And his parents do not help. They are overexcited, treating him like a prize to show off at a circus. In the scuba suit, they announce him like he's an animal in a circus, drowning him in expectations. He sinks to the bottom of the pool, literally and figuratively suffocated. I mean, look at this shit. Then there's Mrs. Robinson. She's the first person to call him Benjamin in the film, not Ben like everyone else, playing on his innocence. She makes him open her car door, a small gesture, maybe his first step towards manhood. He's so nervous around her, breathing hard and fast, totally out of his depth. When she seduces him, it's darkly funny. He's so anxious, can't even call a waiter. Smokes for the first time just to look cool. I mean, haven't we all done that? The hotel hallway feels like a path to his manhood, but he's still a mess, grabbing her awkwardly on her boob like a virgin unsure of himself. This affair changes him. He is not drowning anymore, but now he is floating. A bit of confidence creeps in. He is less nervous for the next encounter. He even closes his door to his parents, literally shutting them out. Is he a man now? Maybe, but he is still depressed, still aimless. Sex with Mrs. Robinson also becomes a mundane thing, just another thing to drift through. Then he meets Elaine, Mrs. Robinson's beautiful daughter. It is the first time that we see him with someone his own age. He's very cold and rude at first, just saying yes and no, walking fast, driving fast, trying to push her away because of his promise to Mrs. Robinson. He even takes her to a fucking titty bar to embarrass her. But when Ellen cries, when she weeps, something shifts. His act falls apart. He becomes genuine, opening up about his insecurities, about his troubles. She gets him, shares his values. For once, Ben is not drifting. He is connecting. Elaine gives him a purpose. He follows her to Berkeley, saying wild stuff like, "How about tomorrow for marriage?" Today, we'd call him a stalker, but back then it's just Ben being Ben. In the famous church scene, he fights to get her back, and they elope. The adrenaline hits, but on the bus, the smiles fade. What's next? That fleeting happiness turns back into anxiety. As Ben and Elaine flee her wedding on a bus, their initial exhilaration, captured in wide, triumphant grins, quickly fades into something far more subdued. The camera lingers on their faces as the reality of their impulsive decision sinks in. They have escaped one trap. But now, what comes next? Let's now shift our attention from Ben to Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Robinson is as much lonely as she is lovely. She's surrounded by people, but so isolated, stuck in a marriage where her husband's youth and maybe his passion and ability to sexually please her is long gone. So she seduces Ben, opening her leg at the bar like it's nothing. She's so cool, experienced, definitely not her first affair. For her, Ben is just a way to feel something again, a way to feel alive. She plays him like a flute. While Ben is a nervous wreck, she's in control, manipulating him into sex. By questioning his inadequacies, by questioning his manhood, he's offered an escape that's rarely just another case. But there's more to her than just that, than just a seductress. In one scene, Ben tries to connect with her, asking her about her past. She majored in art but hates it now, her first moment of vulnerability. She smiles, remembering the car sex with Mr. Robinson when they were young and when Elaine was conceived. For a second, we see who she used to be, a woman with dreams, now lost to a life she did not choose. When Ben falls for Elaine, Mrs. Robinson flips. She tells him that he is not good enough for her daughter, desperate to stop Elaine from losing her future like she did herself. She destroys her relationship, revealing the affair. It's protective, but it's selfish too. She is clinging to control. She's not just a seductress. She's a tragedy, a woman who had potential but got trapped. Her loneliness drives her, and Ben is her latest attempt to escape that loneliness. Their affair ties them together. For Ben, it's an initiation into manhood, guilt, pressure, and a little confidence all mixed up. For Mrs. Robinson, it is a lifeline, a way to feel young again. But this traps them both. She manipulates him, first with sex, then by controlling his life with Elaine. But Ben starts to break free. He's not just her puppet anymore. He finds temporary purpose with Elaine, defying Mrs. Robinson's hold. The film's imagery says it all. Old people, angry and dissatisfied, leaving the hotel. Young ones, excited, going in. Ben and Mrs. Robinson are caught between those two worlds, youth and age, hope and regret. These two are two sides of the same coin. He is a boy drifting into manhood, anxious and aimless until Ellen gives him a spark. She is a woman who has lost her spark long ago, using Ben, the youth, to reclaim it. Together, they show us the clash of both youth and age, freedom and entrapment. In The Graduate, this story ends with question and not answers. Ben gets his purpose, but it's so fleeting. Happiness fades to what now? Mrs. Robinson stays trapped. It is a raw look at life's uncertainties, and I guess that's why this film still hits so hard today. Anyway, if you have stayed till here, do like this video and subscribe if you have not already. I would love to hear what you think about this film in the comments section below. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.